Okay, so let's talk about like the five element theory. Okay, so a lot of martial arts schools they kind of utilize the five element theory. Okay, which is basically you got metal, which is splitting, right? Then metal creates water, which is basically drilling, and then water creates wood, which is basically crushing, and then wood creates fire, which is basically pounding, and then fire creates earth, which is basically crossing, and basically earth creates metal, right, which is which is splitting, right? Okay, so let's go into the different elements. Okay, so splitting is the metal element. Okay, it consists of taking an item that's coming straight ahead and then moving it to one side or the other side. Now it's either forward horizontal this way or vertically this way. So when it comes to like an attack coming up overhead, you see the high rising block, how it splits it this way or it splits it this way. Okay, if you notice, like in Wing Chun or like a lot of the Kung Fu stances, the feet is bowed in like this, kind of like an arrow. Okay, and the whole concept is we're a ship moving through water. We're going straight, and the water moves left or the water moves right. Okay, so that is the concept of splitting or metal. Okay, now metal creates water. What is the concept of water? Water is drilling. Okay, and drilling is a push-pull movement. So everything you see we do is a push-pull movement, right? Like the circles, right? As I drill, I'm pushing and I'm pulling. Okay, I'm pushing and I'm pulling. I'm grabbing and I'm pushing forward. This kind of stuff. Okay, so you see a lot of that kind of stuff in martial arts in general. Okay, now water, which is the drilling, right, creates wood, and you see a crushing movement. Like a crushing movement is two forces moving together. A lot of times, like it can be either the person is moving forward, the attacker is moving forward, and I'm hitting at the same time. He's moving forward, I'm hitting at the same time. That force on force moving towards each other creates like damage, right? It creates power or crushing force, right? Okay. In addition to that, you'll see stuff like this, like our chop blocks, or when we're using an attack, a block or a defense as an attack. And the guys like punching like this, and we're chopping forward like this, or we're chopping forward like this, right? We're creating like force on force, right? Generating that energy. That's also called crushing. Okay, so wood creates what? Fire. Okay, fire is a pounding motion. So as it was explained to me again, right? It wasn't too clear on it back in the day, but back in the day, a crushing motion is a diagonal attack like this, right? Or kind of like that. But when you really think about it, it's more like a yin yang thing, where it's like a circle defeats a straight line, and a straight line defeats a circle. So this right here, the diagonal attack, is like the circle, right? Straight lines coming across, I'm coming this way, I'm coming that way, okay? Right? And then if the attack is coming this way, boom, this way, I come in straight, right? Because the shortest distance between 2 points is the straight line, okay? So when we think about pounding or the fire element, we think about the opposites, okay? The yin yang, straight line or circle defeats the other, okay? Same thing with moving out of the way, right? Move out of the way from the attack, straight attack, you move to the side, this way, circling off to the side. The circle attack is coming in, you move directly into it, okay? So that's pounding, okay? Straight line, circle, okay? Fire creates earth. Earth is a scissors motion. It's also called crossing. Okay, so crossing like this, we talk about like doing this kind of stuff, right? Separating the branch of the tree from the trunk. Separating the branch of the tree from the trunk. Okay, but in addition to that, crossing is also filling the space right here, right? So as I'm doing this, as I'm blocking up and blocking down, see, I'm filling the space right there. Okay. You see the circular movement this way, right? Circular movement this way, right? Circular movement this way, okay? So that's also crossing, okay? That's earth. Earth is crossing like an earthquake, Okay, then crossing creates, earth creates metal. Okay, you have the complete cycle, okay? So I'm not gonna go too much into it here, but here's something about the whole concept of the five element theory or the Xing Yi theory, okay? So We talked about it in the past where like, or I had a video in the past on the five elements, right? Where there's a mother and there's a child. Okay, so the mother creates a child. Okay, so it's supposed to flow in the same way. Okay, so if you do a split, right, which is basically the metal attack, the metal creates the water, so it creates an opportunity for the drilling attack. So if a split comes in, attack comes in, you block it, and now you can grab and drill, right? So push pull. So like metal creates opportunity for like water. Same thing, water, which is drilling. Okay, when done, after it's done, it creates an opportunity for what? Crushing. Same thing, crushing creates an opportunity for what? Pounding. Pounding creates an opportunity for what? Crossing. Crossing in turn creates an opportunity for what? Splitting. Okay, so the whole concept is that not only does one create the other, and these individual techniques can be applied in that way, but there's also this, right, which is the grandmother controls the child, right? Right, so you have the cycle of destruction too, right? So the grandmother, which is, you know, of basically metal, right, or the mother of like metal, I guess it would be like earth, right? And then metal creates water, right? So earth destroys water, right? So you would use an earth attack to defend, or an earth technique to defend against a water technique. Okay, so you see how it works. So the cycle of creation sets up for the next element to take over and to continue, but the cycle of destruction stops that type of attack from moving forward because it controls it. So you got to figure that out yourself, because that means you got to be good enough to be able to apply that particular defense against an attack that's given to you, and you got to do it like in a split second, right? So go out and check it out. This class was mainly for the blocking. Hopefully I didn't overextend it. Sorry if I did.